Thanks for joining me this morning. Appreciate you being here.
Well, Trey, I think I'm going to just go ahead and put you on the payroll. If you can give me that kind of information anytime, anywhere. So I appreciate it.
Happy to do it, Chip. Wherever you want me. This is important. I have two big issues I want to talk with you this morning, and I want to do more of a regular touch base with you whenever you can do it, because I want to continue to talk about the issues that are impacting Texans and Americans. And let's start with our border. This is huge, obviously, for us in Texas. You have drawn up articles of impeachment for Alejandro Mayorkas. I think that's perfect. He should be impeached and removed. And I think the same thing for the president, for President Biden. Go right ahead.
Well, Trey, look, I could sit here and talk for an hour, and we don't have that time about how bad the border is. But if you're listening to this show, however bad you think the border is, it's 10 times worse. Okay, we just saw 500,000 people apprehended in the last quarter of 21. That is the first quarter of this fiscal year, in October, November, December. We've had another, we had about 12,000 pounds of fentanyl that were caught last year. It's coming into our schools, our communities, killing people with poisonings from fentanyl. We've got the cartels getting empowered. We've got our folks getting overrun, bullets being fired at our own folks. Look, Americans are dying as the direct consequence of this administration's refusal to enforce the law. They are failing to faithfully execute the laws of the United States. It's purposeful. They're doing it intentionally. They're not using Title 42 during a pandemic to stop people at the river. They're not using the return to Mexico protocols that President Trump was using. But again, it's purposeful. They're doing it for a reason. Now, yesterday, they're letting out and they're actually distributing and taking single adult males and delivering them throughout the United States. We had raw footage of that that Bill Malugin from Fox put out. So it is time, it's long past time, to impeach Mayorkas, the secretary, and then we'll take the next step from there and talk about Biden. Right now, we've got people that are, I think, starting to understand this is the right path to take. Michael Cloud, my good friend here in Texas, he represents just a little east of San Antonio, Victoria down to Corpus. Michael and I did an op-ed in Fox News day before yesterday, and we've got new, fresh articles coming out. We've already co-sponsored some with my friend Andy Biggs, but we're going to be pushing that because that guy needs to go, and we need the American people to understand that.
Folks, get on his mailing list and receive his email alerts on what's going on with all this. You will be enlightened about this. It'll tick you off most of the time to see what's actually happening to your country that the mainstream media, ABC and CBS and CNN, they're not telling you about. But Chip's got some good info that he puts out on the email concerning this. Yeah, Chip, I am pushing for somebody to draw up articles of impeachment against Joe Biden for the very same reason. He's concerned and keeps talking this week about the sovereignty of Ukraine. We got to protect the sovereignty of Ukraine. Well, he has done nothing to protect the sovereignty of the United States. In fact, I say the opposite. His policies, as you just rightfully said, his policies put in place and designed to collapse the sovereignty of our country. There is no doubt in my mind that this administration, and Joe Biden's just a puppet, this administration just wants to free flow coming across the border. For that, I think that's a high crime that is an impeachable offense. Just my thinking on it.
So I don't want to get the cart before the horse, but I will just tell you that we are planning right now that should the American people entrust Republicans with the majority in the House, the level of hearings and focus on what has been doing, what this administration has been doing to this country, we're going to get the truth out. And I believe that a component of that, and I've got a lot of colleagues who agree, is highlighting the numerous ways in which President Biden has been engaging in conduct which is directly, contradictory to his oath of office and therefore deserving of consideration of impeachment. But right now, I'm going to stay focused in this instance, while we're in the minority, on highlighting the message of what I think is clear and actionable right now to pressure Democrats that our border needs to be secure. They're failing to do it. That's a direct violation of their oath. So let's go impeach Mayorkas, and then let's set the foundation for going after Biden on that front or many others.
Very well said. Okay, the second topic quickly here, and it kind of dovetails into what we were just talking about, is vax mandates. Canada Trucking now into the United States is being shut down because of vax mandates, and they are protesting up in Canada. While we have a stinking supply chain crisis in this country, the shelves are empty, but yet, Chip, the border is wide open, and there's no vax requirement, obviously, at the border. So let's talk. This kind of dovetails the two together. Let's talk about these vax mandates for just a minute. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I just want everybody listening right now, let's just speak truth. There is literally no legitimate basis in science for a mandatory vaccine, much less at this point even really pushing the vaccine hard, given where we are with the Omicron and the fact that it is much less deadly. It is very clear that the vaccine does not prevent the spread of the virus. Now, again, let me be clear. My 79-year-old father who had survived polio, he's taken the vaccine. I am absolutely for people for whom it is in their interest to take the vaccine doing so. But it ought to be a choice in a free country. I'm not telling anybody whether I've been vaccinated or not, because it's none of your darn business. But we now finally have the CDC admitting that natural immunity is better than is vaccination immunity. And so you've got people who reasonably are saying, why would I get vaccinated if I've already had the COVID? So the government has no basis to have a mandate. So now they're out there causing people to lose their jobs, forcing people out of healthcare service, making it much less capable for us to provide healthcare because doctors and nurses that aren't in the hospitals because they're being forced out. As you said, truckers. We actually had people in the state of Washington who couldn't run snow plows during a big blizzard, snow, because they said, oh, sorry, you're not vaccinated. People have lost their mind. So in my view, we should not have vaccine mandates. I'm glad the Supreme Court shut down the OSHA mandates. They were clearly unconstitutional. But unfortunately, Kavanaugh and Roberts got the CMS, the healthcare mandates, wrong. And so now it is incumbent upon Congress to not fund the enforcement of those mandates that the Biden administration wants to continue so we can save our healthcare system, nor should we fund mandates at the Department of Defense that are causing our men and women in uniform here at San Antonio. That's a big deal. People that are getting kicked out of service because they don't want to take a vaccine and they don't think it's in their interest. So I don't think we should fund it. I've got a letter circulating saying that we should not fund a government to enforce these mandates on the American people.
And I'll say one more thing and I'll let you go. When the Republicans take back power, and folks, I've been telling you it is critical that the Republicans take back power. They need to file legislation, Chip, that would prevent federal funding of any school that shuts down because of this. We've had way too much of this. The president flat-ass lied last week when he said 95% of the schools are open. Well, yeah, you got 7,000 schools that were closed at that moment when he uttered those words. No schools in America should be closed. There should be no mask mandates or vax mandates on children, and federal funding should be cut off to any school who does that.
Man, Trey, when all is said and done with this, and we do the review of what this country's leadership has done to the people of the United States, and importantly done to our children and mental health, and what we've done in terms of lack of cancer screenings, and what we've done in terms of suicide rates, and what we've done in terms of shutting schools down and harming families and killing the economy and spending money we don't have, it is going to be one of the most epic failures and destructive actions by government on a people in the history of mankind. We need to review it, we need to end it, and we need to make sure it never happens again. And we've got to do one main thing as Republicans: stop funding tyranny. Stop funding an FBI to go after parents. Stop funding a DHS that doesn't secure the border. Stop funding an ATF that goes after American people for their Second Amendment rights. Stop funding the bureaucrats that are coming after our children and our way of life, and that's what Republicans need to focus on like a laser, in my opinion.
Go get them, Chip. Thank you for your time.
Hey, God bless you, Trey. Take care.
We'll talk soon. Folks, there you have it. Straight shooter in D.C. Kind of hard to find those these days, isn't it?